In this video, we are going to show you how to create a keyword dashboard in Analytics. Keyword dashboards allow you to map the social progress of a keyword over time, see who's writing about a given keyword, whether that be a brand name or just a keyword in an area. You can see the Facebook pages talking about it, the authors writing about it, see what network it performs best on, and a host of other pieces of information. This is really excellent for getting a good look at the media landscape around the keywords in your industry or your client's industry. So to begin, I'm going to select keywords here from below Create a New Dashboard. This will bring me to the input form for the keyword dashboard. So let's give it a name. And let's say that we're looking at beverages in the US. So I'm just going to call it US beverage. We're going to move down to search and put in the first of our keywords. So let's start with Coca-Cola. And because Coca-Cola can be described in a bunch of different ways, I'm going to add a filter or a Boolean string to ensure that we're capturing all mentions of Coca-Cola, even if it's shortened to a different phrasing. So you have two options in the advanced search. You can use the query builder here, or you can select Boolean. I'm going to select Boolean for this example. So let's type Coca-Cola in quotation marks and then use the OR function to submit another way to say Coca-Cola. So we'll say cola or Coca-Cola, all one word, or Coke. And let's click apply on that. So let's enter some other competitors. We could say Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Seven Up, and let's start with that. Now we could individually filter each of these keywords with a location or a topic, but given that we want to look at all these keywords in the context of the US, I'm just going to use this universal filters section at the bottom. So I'm going to hit location and I'm going to say United States. Now let's select Create Dashboard to create our dashboard of keywords. Over on the far left, you have the ability to change the time range of the results you're looking at. So right now, by default, we just look at the last 7 days. But instead of that, let's choose a year. Click Apply, and that date range will be applied for your results. You can also choose a custom date range, which will be where you pick a given range from the date picker. You'll see that your results will refresh every time you make an edit like this. If you're unhappy with your results or you want to change anything at any time, you can always re-edit the dashboard here. In our first table, you can see the breakout of each keyword set, the article count, average interactions, and total interactions for that keyword. So what does that mean? That means that we have found 8,451 articles with the word Pepsi in either the headline, URL, or snippet text that were published within the year of 2018, so from January 1st, 2018 to December 31st. Those articles on Pepsi, they have a total interaction count of over 1 million, so 1.2 million. Again, what does this mean? This means that these articles amassed over 1.2 million social interactions. So that's likes, shares, and comments on Facebook, Twitter interactions, as well as Pinterest pins. The average interaction score you see here in the middle column, that's simply looking at the average interaction of an article, and we get that figure by dividing the total interactions by the article count. You can re-rank these keywords based on these numbers, so you could look at what has the highest article count, which is Coca-Cola. You could look at the highest average interactions, which is Mountain Dew, or you could look at total interactions, which is what each of the tables are set to by default. You can export this to both JPEG and PNG if you wanted to put it into a slide deck, or look at CSV or Excel if you wanted to do some further analysis. Moving on to the second table, the keyword overview, we can see the breakout of each of these engagements across the networks. So we have likes, shares and comments, influencer shares, LinkedIn shares, and Pinterest pins. For some of these metrics, so for example, LinkedIn shares, we only have that data for a portion of 2018 before their API, which we got those scores from, was retired. So that's why you'll see that asterisk there. Again, you could re-rank based on any of these to see where this keyword is performing best, so on which network. You can also change the view from total interactions to average interactions. Average interactions is a useful metric if you're looking for some white space or maybe an area that has a high average interaction count but seems to be underserved. So there's great demand but not enough content to meet that demand. Again, all of this is exportable to both JPEG, PNG, or CSV or Excel. Moving on to the final graph in the keyword dashboard, we can see the overtime comparison. What this is showing you is how the keyword has performed over time in terms of social interactions in this case, but we can also look at it in terms of average interactions or article count. You can see the legend here at the bottom for each of those. And if there was, say, a keyword that was performing really well, that was dwarfing the other keywords, you can remove it to give you better exposure or a better look at those. So what do each of these spikes mean? Well, if you hover over any of them, they'll give you an idea of the date range that they represent and also the article count within that date range that saw that spike. Click on any of these spikes and you'll see the content panel expand on the right hand side and it will tell you what this story was. So in this case, we have a Mountain Dew NBA partnership. So a lot of Super Bowl related content there, obviously because of the date range that we've applied. If you remove that date range, you're going to see all the Mountain Dew content, in this case ranked by total interactions. And then if we select show less again, we'll see the top 10 stories for each of the keywords groups. So we have 7-Up, Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew again, Pepsi. And you can re-rank these stories based on any of these types of interactions. So let's say influencer shares or Pinterest pins. You can also see here that we have referrals listed. These are the Facebook pages that have posted these links. So in this case, we can say that Love Bakes Good Cakes posted this link to a slow cooker 7-Up cake recipe. We can see the date that they posted it, the time, and the breakout of interactions and reactions that they got on this post of this link. Again, we're ranking by Pinterest there. Take out any of your filters. You can also just look at the top 100. So you can see the top 100 stories not grouped by their keyword group, and in this case ranked by total interactions. But again, you can change that ranking. You can export the data at any time to CSV or Excel. CSV gives you the option to export the top 1,000 or 10,000 articles, and this will just save automatically. Whereas Excel up here, that can export up to 1,000 and it will be emailed to you. If you want to ever minimize your content panel, simply select hide here and it will retract back into the side and you can see your main dashboard. That was the view of keyword performance across web, so in articles, but we can look at this same view but for Facebook posts by selecting this second tab. So here in the first table we have the post count, the average interactions for each post, and then the total interactions. Contained within this total interaction metric are Facebook reactions as well. Again, you can export any of this to either an image or data if you want to edit it again later. Moving further down to the type breakdown, you can see the interactions per post type. So we have video, photo, link, status, event, and the total interactions. You can change both the table view as well as the interaction type. So we could look at the post count per post type, or if we were going back to the interactions, we could break it down to a particular type. So let's look at angry interactions. Scrolling down, the next Facebook post breakout we have is a visual comparison between the count for each post type as versus the interaction count for this post type. So this shows you the percentage of total posts for the keyword that are that post type. In this example, Facebook video. Analytics then allows you to compare it to the total number of interactions that accounts for. So simply put, it is a way to see what post type gives you the best return on your investment and allows you to advise your client or your brand on the format that works in your niche. Again, we have the overtime comparison graph, which is interactive and can be used to filter the content in your content panel by time. The final breakout shows you what percentage of content of each post type each keyword accounts for. So, for example, of all the videos posted on Facebook across all keywords, Mountain Dew accounted for 8% or 315 of those video posts. Scrolling back up to the top, we are about to view our third and final tab, which is the leaderboard. The leaderboard is a quick way to get information on domains and keywords. View top journalists, publishers, and Facebook pages. This shows a table view of the top web authors, web publishers, or Facebook pages for your keywords. For the web authors and web publisher leaderboards, sort the data by the article count, the average interactions, the total interactions, or you can group it by the search term. Using the network dropdown, focus on data from one of these specific networks: LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, or Facebook. For the Facebook pages leaderboard, sort the data by search term, current followers, engagement percentage, post count, average interactions, and total interactions. A bit of an explanation on the engagement percentage. Here we are dividing the total engagement by the page's followers to see how engaged a Facebook page's followers are for a specific keyword. A higher percentage means that the followers of that page are more engaged with the content around that keyword. Additionally, with this leaderboard, you can utilize the drop downs at the top to focus on a particular interaction type or a post type. For all these leaderboards, you can export the data into Excel or CSV by clicking on the icon in the upper right corner of the leaderboard. Also, the leaderboards interact with the content panel on the right-hand side, where data can also be exported from. So if you were to click here on Pepsi for Ariana Huffington, the content panel will expand and we'll see the post that is associated with this data.